thought a fair amount about money. I know you all think that all he thought about was sex. It was like 99% of what he thought about. He did manage to eke out a single book, Civilization and Its Discontents, that was principally about capitalism and society and the social trends that were happening as a result of societal shifts. It's not a coincidence that Freud was writing in the 1920s. There's a really interesting thing socially that has happened. I'm going to let this guy rest here. I hope you guys don't mind. That happened between 1900 and 1930. It was a really extraordinary time, especially in the United States of America. We had already enjoyed sort of the advent of the Industrial Revolution, but it was really getting underway. I know this sounds like history that you know, but 1918, refrigeration was invented. 1920, the first year in the US that the number of people living in urban environments matched the number of people living in rural environments. Basically, with the advent of industrialization and the flow of capital and the migration of people into the urban environments, people for the first time in their lives had an extraordinary amount of control over their environment in a way that we never had before. If you grew up and you were a blacksmith's son in the year 1200, that's kind of where you were going to be stuck for the rest of your life, and if bad stuff happened to you, you were probably a fatalist and you just assumed that's the way life goes. But just in the first part of this century was the first time that humans said, wait a minute, we have some say in things. We can control things because to a large degree, materially we could control things. What many people don't put together is it's not just our creature comforts that we had control over, our physical comforts. For example, the creation of air conditioning. We can actually change the temperature around us to suit our every need. But along with that came psychological comfort. And money is often used not just to procure physical comfort, but also psychological comfort. And this is why we've seen this huge trend towards a lower immunity for discomfort among people. You've probably heard of helicopter parenting, the idea of parents intervening in the schools. It's largely around this idea that we are less comfortable with dissatisfaction, with unhappiness, with sadness, with anger than we ever have been at any time in history. One of the things I think is the greatest about the Greatest Generation is the fact that the Greatest Generation was made up of hardy individuals who didn't expect life to be perfect, but who knew they could deal with it when it wasn't. And we, to some degree, have lost that in our pursuit of happiness. So as I don't, it's not my intention to come here and soapbox in front of you and lecture you on this, but rather to say that when we go about the business of talking about what we do with money, I think that some of the hardship involving money is psychologically quite healthy for us.